People who downloaded their Google data and went through it. What were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? Lots of recordings of me asking the Google Assistant stupid questions. What's your favorite example? Google has recordings of me saying, "Okay Google, tell me a joke." That was the stupidest ducking joke I've ever heard in my life. Apostrophe. God, that's how I talk to my Google all the time when it triggers because of an ad, something I said, or something someone in a video said. I don't want it to interrupt what I'm watching because it doesn't understand I have no use for it. That I'm a 64-year-old woman. I'm a 40-year-old man. I dunno. See, I don't know you, but Google is pretty reliable. Have you tried being a 64-year-old woman? Wow, thanks, has cured lol. It's not much, but it's honest work. I truly do not know what Reddit would be without enough people like you. Probably a hole full of shut meme makers and weird ask Reddit questions 80% of the time. Wait. If we are being honest, I was more horrified about looking through my own browsing data. Turn off web search history and set your history to delete every 3 months. Or use DuckDuckGo. Honestly, I'd love to use DuckDuckGo, but I can never get decent results with it. That's why more need to use it to buttress the algorithm. The funny thing is, Google's results are probably targeted because of the data they have on you. The DDG results would be natural results. The fact that they saved every link you visited if you use Chrome or Google, that's kind of ducked up. And hearing recordings of the Google Assistant when you didn't even say hey Google. Oh, and a full track record of your location in coordinates with timestamps. So they just save everywhere you have ever been, as long as you don't turn it off in settings. Oh cool. I keep mine off unless I use it, so they only record when it's on in the settings. I think it's the settings under the Maps History tab. I just turned off all of the privacy related stuff. Same thing goes for YouTube BTW. Turning off video and search history seems to stop them from tracking your video history. Cool, thanks for the tip. Old naked pics of X. I thought I deleted it, but Google stored in cloud. Weird. Edit. Stop asking about the photos. It is not funny. Because Google knew you had deleted them from your phone, but not from your heart. You got a mind reader. And a poet. You/Cypherus know the pain of love. Maybe. It's mostly zip files and I can't understand it, but they appear to track my location several times per minute with the exact GPS coordinates. I think I turned location history off, not sure if they still do. They also for some reason had the movie Unplanned listed with words like gross, distasteful, unsettling, which were an indication of my feelings about this movie. No other movies or TV shows were listed in this manner. Google has an agenda. Which agenda? I know not. Own everyone's data. Own and sell. That's their real business model. The company that controls the most info is the one all the other corporations want to advertise on, since their ads would be the most effective. Facebook is a distant second to Google at the moment, I believe, but they all are trying to achieve the same thing. Even Reddit. Google *ALYTICS. They track everything and sell whatever information any company wants for marketing purposes. They have a record of every place you have ever been. I took left ride to my mechanic to pick up my car. That night I wanted to send a text, but couldn't find my phone. I looked everywhere, and then I remembered the last time I had a phone was when I was in the Lyft car. So I thought, I left the phone in the car. I went to the Lyft site, and sure enough there was a link for get something. Click here to contact the driver. I thought, oh good. Well, turns out, you need your phone to even log in. So I was out of luck. Did some search, and someone suggested, if you are on Android, sign into your Gmail, and look for the phone's location. Holy shit. They have GPS records of all the places you have ever been. Minute by minute. Day by day. For the last several years. The record showed me the phone going from my home to the mechanics, and hasn't moved since. That's how I found out I left it there. Every time I go to the liquor store, they ask me if I have a reward card. I always say no. because I don't want any private company have a record of how much and how often I buy booze. The 5% discount is not worth it. Guess what? Google knows how often you stop at a liquor store. Not just that store with a rewards card, but every goddamn liquor store you have ever been in. And oh, once they realized that my phone was at a mechanic's place for a whole night, most of the ads for my apps and games were auto parts stores and auto repair places. This saved me once, but it's still scary. I stumbled across the ML thing while I was trying to figure out how to access data from one of my old phones that I didn't remember the button to. A month or two later, I had a run-in with a Karen in the parking lot and accidentally left my phone on the back bumper of some random truck. By the time I figured out where I had left it, the car was already gone. I pulled up this tracker and was able to watch everywhere the truck went. From when it left the store to when it stopped at McDonald's to when it pulled into a neighborhood and finally stopped moving. My husband and I went to the location and easily found my phone on the back of the truck. Based on its location in the parking lot, I had a pretty good idea where this person lived, and they had no idea the phone was even there, or they were being tracked by some random person who now knew where they lived. Also, you can track multiple devices if your email is on them. We lent my mom our tablet for a space of time since her phone wasn't working and the tablet had a phone number. When I first discovered this application, I realized I was able to track everywhere she went. You could easily track your friends or so's location by simply signing into your email on their phone. You don't have to get some crazy FBI technology to track a complete stranger either. Edit. Link. Google.com/Android/find. DID equals ZWMQUKW8638W8CH3I6VBNNCH9-0QQXCLQ5-9SA%3D and U equals 0 edit 2. Please protect your mail buttwords, people. Think of all the information someone has access to if they can just sign into your Google account. You could easily track your friends or so's location by simply signing into your email on their phone. You don't have to get some crazy FBI technology to track a complete stranger either. That is scary. Useful, but scary. My friend's mom is developing dementia. We gave her an Android phone just for this reason. Recordings of whole conversations where it thought I said okay Google and then kept recording for a half hour. Little mistake. I also sometimes think that someone said my name and then listen intently making notes on everything said for the next 30 minutes. Could happen to anyone really. My voice and conversations. After that I immediately deleted all of them and disabled OK Google. A few years ago I downloaded all my Facebook data, finding every direct message it ever sent was in there, many of which I had deleted from my account. Too long, didn't read terms of service. It's a plugin for browsers and tells you TLDRs of terms of service. Like how FB and Instagram and such don't delete your posts. They just keep it and hide it from you and whoever looks at your account. Did FB change their data deletion policy? Because my understanding was, if you deleted your account, it was put into a limbo stage, where it still existed for 30 days, and would only be fully deleted if you didn't try to access it within that time frame. Last I remember it was never deleted. I deleted mine years ago, then on a whim logged in after a year or so, and it reactivated. Like nothing ever happened. Quite a while ago I took an up-close picture of someone's butthole, because they asked me to, thinking they had a hemorrhoid or something. Genius me says great, my phone is right here. Genius them says great, and pulled down their pants. Sped cheeks, so I took an up-close pic, so they could look at their own butthole. In hindsight, a mirror would have been a much better idea, so they look at the picture, and I delete it right away. About 2 years later I was going through pics on my Gmail account and most were ones I remembered and wanted to keep. Then up pops the butthole. I deleted it from the computer, but it was unsettling that it had been stored for years after I deleted it. I'm not a tech person at all, so maybe it could have been avoided, but I'm done taking pictures of buttholes. In hindsight, if either of you had hindsight you wouldn't have needed the picture. When you listen to saved voice commands you can hear the recording start well before you actually call for Siri etc. indicating everything our phone hears could be saved somewhere for whatever reason. No. But yes. Kind of. All smart speakers and phones who listen to a command have a microphone active all the time. The important part is, the recording is deleted almost instantly, unless the device recognizes the specific command. Then the recording, which can include a few seconds prior to the command, is sent to their servers to process your request. They are doing lots of creepy stuff. But while you can't be completely sure, it's highly unlikely that they are recording you all the time. There are more efficient ways to get what they want. The mic needs to be on 24/7 or else they couldn't use activation words. But Amazon doesn't want to store 16 hours a day of ambient noise from your house any more than you want them to. If there isn't anyone talking in the recording, then it isn't particularly useful for them. How much of our conversations they have saved is up for debate. But there's no reason to bottom they save every second of audio recorded. I mean, why not? Now they know exactly how much time you spend in your house on average. How much time you're home but likely outside. What you watch on TV. What rooms you spend most of your time in. What you eat for dinner. Who cooks it. What you and your spouse argue over. Your children's hobbies and personalities. Where you like to sit in proximity to the Google device. How often you have friends over. Even if you use metal or plastic silverware and gilbert or paper plates. Do you use plastic cups or gilberts? If you wash the dishes by hand or use a dishwasher. If you read to your kids. If you're dressed particularly well that day. How often you have sex. All of those things are things you can glean from just listening. Keywords or particular sounds can tell Google a lot about your daily habits. That alone is enough reason for me not to get anything that listens to me. My phone is bad enough. I could see everywhere I went to for months with exact times I went there and left, and that's without my GPS turned on. I found it kinda freaky. Honestly, with phones the easiest way to find your location quick is either Wi-Fi signals. Google and others knows all Wi-Fi networks and can triangulate based on strength. Creepy, I know. Or triangulation of phone masts. GPS can take a full minute or more to pinpoint your location. That I watched Erromanga Sensei edit. Comrades, I think you're supposed to edit a comment if it gets many likes. IDK, I'm not a redditor and these were the most likes I ever got in my entire life, so that's really cheeky breaky of you. Bark. Go to horny jail. Not really unsettling to anyone but me, but I found videos of my dad before his heart surgery in 2016. His indoor cat had fallen out the flat's window and he had to go and get her. He came back up the stairs and was really out of my breath, so my stepmom asked him to go to the doctors. He did, and they sent him straight to hospital where he butted out. He was sent for emergency surgery at St. Thomas Hospital in London. They had to transport him. My sister, auntie, Nan and I were several hours away and had to drive to the hospital at midnight. We arrived at 4 AM and waited until 7 AM to see him before he was transferred. During his surgery his vocal cords got touched and paralyzed accidentally. It usually happens in the type of surgery he had, and he now can't speak in any more than a gravelly whisper. The videos were unsettling to me because I couldn't recognize the voice, and it took me a while to realize it was my dad. Oh sweetie, that must have made you sad when you realized you'd forgotten his voice. You can download your Google data? Yeah, I forgot how, but it shows how much they track your location, and I believe, could be wrong, what all you do on your phone, such as blank opened Facebook at 3:25 PM. Blank visited Pornhub at 3:30 PM. Can't track me on the dark web though. Yeah, unless you use Tor on mobile, then I think they can just see you open Tor. I don't think they keep track of what you do on an app. Just that said app was used and when. But the location thing is freaky. It'll literally show a map of where you went on said day. I personally love that feature. Seeing where I went on any given day helps me remember it much better and relive the experience a little better. I travel a lot though, so perceptions may vary. What's really scary? You can call and get a copy of all your recordings, but sometimes they send out the wrong ones. You then have hours of recordings of someone else. Intimate details, addresses, credit cards, etc. I find it funny knowing Google has a recording of every time I try to use OK Google while driving, and then me subsequently yelling at it for not working properly. Reminder, you can and should talk about something ridiculous in front of your friend's phone if they leave it unattended so that they get ads for said thing. It's a great game. Also occasionally post racist shut or baby murder shut. Basically the more ducked up the better. Anything to throw the algorithm off. Google can't decide if I'm a Nazi or a black Jewish gay man. I'm neither. It said sexual orientation, unable to parse / data unclear. Where did you find that in the archive? Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. You are helping me a lot. Thanks again.